Hi everyone, it's Shar. Welcome back to my channel, Craftin' Up a Storm. Today I have some fantastic Dollar Tree DIY spring decor to share with you. I have 3 projects, and with a little bit of paint and glue, you can make them for your home too. Let's get crafting. For this project, I'm using a ceramic paintable bunny from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to clip off the little loop that's at the top of the bunny with my needle nose pliers, and then I'm going to sand that down with my Dremel. Always make sure to wear safety goggles and a mask when doing something like this. The bottom of the bunny is open. I'm going to take my Dremel and open that hole at the bottom because I'm going to put this on a jar, and the lid for the jar has a large knob on the top. You can avoid this by simply using a flat lid jar or a jar that has a smaller knob on the top. However, I liked the look of this jar and how it stood the bunny up, so I am going to open that up quite a bit and have it fit down just a little bit further on the lid. You'll see here in a minute I opened it up quite a bit. Just very carefully and very slowly sanded away the plaster on it. It's very soft, so you have to be very gentle and go very slow. After I've done that, I'm going to take and glue that bunny down on the top of my lid with some E6000. And then I'm going to paint the jar with Waverly chalk paint in Cashew. And I will also paint the lid and the bunny together so that it's all cohesive. Just making sure I get all the in between where the bunny sits on top of the lid. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take some folk art metallic paint, and I'm going to dry brush some of that onto my bunny to make it look like it was metal underneath the paint. So it has an iron look to it, like an antique iron statue would maybe. So I'm just going to dry brush that all over the raised parts, especially on my little bunny statue. Once I finish that, I'm going to take some Waverly antique wax and I'm going to distress the jar and the lid a little bit. I want to kind of get in those grooves and hit the raised edges. Once I've done that, I'm going to go back in with the Cashew and I'm going to go over the top of it just to take it back down a little bit so it's not so brown on my jar, and make it look like the brown is coming out from underneath. After I've done that, I will take some Dollar Tree jute twine and wrap it around the bunny where the bunny and the jar come together. I'm sorry about this footage. For some reason, I didn't flip that clip around, so it's upside down for everyone. Just going to wrap that around several times and hot glue that into place. Once that is complete, I'm just going to put a little ribbon around it for decoration, and there's my bunny jar. Very cute. For the next project, I used some acrylic paint, Deco Art, Luscious Lemon. I've had it for forever. I don't know if they have it available any longer, but it's just a nice buttery yellow color. I painted the clay pot from Dollar Tree. I gave it at least 2 to 3 coats. Now I also have some bunny wooden cutouts and This is a chalkboard tag from Dollar Tree. I'm just showing I wrote my words out with pencil, and then I went over the top of it with a very small paintbrush and some white paint. I'm just trying to show you that you can paint your decal onto your chipboard or your chalkboard. It will work. I painted out carrots, 5 cents. I am going to admit, though, I did choose to not use this one. I wanted it to say fresh carrots, 5 cents, and I could not write that small. I also want to use one of the wooden bunnies at the very top to cover the hole for the hanger for the tag. So here's where I painted that bunny pink, and I'm going to use it at the top, and it just didn't fit the way I had painted the word on there. So I did end up changing this out for a Cricut vinyl cutout. But I wanted to show you, if you don't have a Cricut, it is doable. You can do it. I just can't write as small as I wanted to, and I used a very small chalkboard. I also have a wooden dowel from Dollar Tree that I painted yellow, and I'm going to glue that onto the back. I'm going to do that in a minute because I'm going to change that chalkboard out first. And you'll see in just a minute that I have one that says fresh carrots, 5 cents. I did glue the bunny at the top to cover up that hole, and now I'm going to glue this onto that dowel. I'm just going to hot glue it onto the dowel. I will eventually cut that down so that it's not so tall in our little pot, but I don't know exactly how much I want to cut it down yet. I got some packages of the little jute twine carrots from Dollar Tree. Well, I also got some ribbon from Dollar Tree. This is the spring plaid. I'm just hot gluing around the top of the jar, or the pot. And then I took some blue burlap ribbon and I just folded it over into a circle and put a zip tie around the middle of it. I'll then take a piece of that same ribbon and wrap it around the middle for the knot. Very simple bow for the front of the pot. I just folded the edges over to make them clean, and I wrapped it around the middle of my zip tie, where my zip tie was. I'm just going to hot glue that into place and then trim off the extra length. This bow will then just get hot glued onto the front of my pot. I did pick up those carrots. They come in packages of 4 from Dollar Tree, and I used 4 from one package and then one more. I needed one more for 5 to fit in the jar, and then they held each other up a little better with one more in there. I popped in my little sign, and that is that for our carrot jar. Nice and springy. For my last project today, I used a small wreath frame from Dollar Tree. It comes in a pack of 2. And this really soft, velvety yarn from Dollar Tree as well. It's in a very pretty light blue. I'm just going to wrap that around this wreath frame to cover it. I tried to keep everything kind of tight together so it covered up the frame. Every so often I put a little bit of hot glue down to keep those strands in place, and I just wrapped around and around, trying to keep everything even and in a nice even line. It takes time, but It worked. Once I had it completely wrapped, I wanted to pop another bow. On this one, I made the bow the same way as I did with our last project, just larger. Folded it over and pinched it in the middle and used a zip tie to hold the middle of our bow. This ribbon is such a pretty, almost turquoise blue color. It's very, very pretty. It complements the blue yarn on our wreath just perfectly. I'm just going to kind of twist at that to get it puffed open the way I like it, and I'm going to cut out a piece for the knot in the center. I have another clip upside down. My editing skills were off this video. I'm just going to glue that all together and glue that down to our wreath. For a little added color, I'm going to use some of the lavender sprigs from Dollar Tree. I don't like a lot of their flowers, but these are super cute. And they come in a darker purple, a light purple, and this white. And I used some of the green leaves to pop in there as well too. And I just hot glued everything in place. Very pretty and spring, very simple. Tell me in the comments below which of these crafts for spring you liked the most. And if you liked these crafts and this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Have a wonderful day and keep on crafting.